Hey, what's going on, Super Squad? Tristan here. Today, the conversation is all about our legacy bikes. You know what I'm talking about, the Z1, the S1, and the OG. Back in October 2018, I joined the Super Squad and bought my first Super 73, the Super 73 S1. And in between group rides and riding around my neighborhood, I've put over 1,000 miles on my S1 and it's still going strong. The most maintenance I've put into this bike was swapping out the front and back brakes, but otherwise this thing has been an absolute tank, and it's mainly because I've taken care of it. Starting back in 2016 with the OG Kickstarter bike, I know a couple of you have those. The legacy bikes as a whole is what put Super 73 on the map. Since then, we've had the aforementioned S, the S1, the Z1, and the reinvented OG 2016. Between 2018 and 2019, we watched the Super Squad go crazy customizing their Super 73 S1s, making it their own and truly one of a kind. For this reason alone, I still consider the S1 to be an all-time classic. So I myself have customized my S1 by painting both of my batteries, powder coating it completely burgundy, adding a black brand frame bag, some mirrors like what I do with all my bikes, a customized license plate, a customized seat, a headlight cover, and a cup holder. So check this out, I went out and visited a few of my friends to learn more about their legacy bikes and how they've held up over the years and how they still use them these days. I asked them when they purchased their legacy bike, how many miles they have on it, how often do they use it, what do they use it for, and what they think about it after all these years. So let's roll the clip. All right, everyone, I'm here with Chris. Chris has the Super 73 S1. Chris, when did you buy your S1?
So I bought this bike back in 2018. I was actually in the market for a motorcycle, and sure enough, I came across this, and it basically resembled like the classic look, of your cafe racer motorcycle, but it was electric, so that kind of intrigued me. And right off the bat, I saw that they were giving test rides, and I took a couple laps around the parking lot, and I was sold. I've had it since 2018, and I have 475 miles on it. I use it on the weekends pretty frequently, to grab some breakfast, lunch, get some tacos, even just to cruise around the neighborhood. I mean, it's a great commuter bike.
All right, Chris, you've had this bike since 2018. 4 years later, what do you think of your S1?
After 4 years, it's still a great bike. It's got a classic look. Even with all these new bikes out, I still try to find time to ride this bike. It's great. People always stop me and ask me about the company, where I get it from and how much they would want to buy one too. And, they still have these bikes, and I recommend it to anyone that would that would want one.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yo, Elijah.
Hey, what's up?
When did you buy your Super 73 S1?
I purchased this Rosab at end of 2017 and picked it up on January 2018. I think I have about a little over 500 miles on my S1. I ride my RX and my ZX a little bit more nowadays, but for close going around the town or just cruising around, I or with my niece and nephew, I ride it a lot. But recently we've been doing some legacy bike group rides, so I take it out and it's still pretty fun. I ride around with my niece and my nephew a lot because it's a little bit more it's a cruiser, so it's easy to get on and get off for the kids, and then going grocery shopping, it's perfect for it. So yep, that's what I use it for.
So after almost 5 years of owning your Rosab, what do you think about it?
Shout out to Jesse Wollens. I love the bike. It was a limited edition. It's still fun. I love it, and for me, it's one of the best bikes that RX, those are all cool and stuff, going off-roading, speed and all that, but for a cruiser, I still love my S1.
All right, Paul, so right here we have two of your OGs. This first one right here, though, when did you get that one?
So this one here is the Super 73 V2, and this one's limited to 50. I actually purchased it in late 2018, or maybe January of 2019. This actually, of all the OGs, this actually has the most mileage on it that I put on it.
Okay.
When I bought it, it had like 88 miles. I literally put like more than 800 miles on that one.
And that one right there is copper plated. What's the story with that one?
Yes, so I always wanted to get one that was copper plated because I saw, I believe her name was Coco or something like that. And she had one copper plated, and I was like, if I get a spare OG V1, that's what I'm gonna do. And this actually is my second V1, and I actually had this copper plated, I wanna say in 2019, and I probably rode it for maybe, I would say probably about 100 miles before I had to copper plate it. But this is one of my show bikes now. This is pretty much retired.
Your copper plated one you said is pretty much retired.
Yes.
But you still use this one right here.
I do.
So how often do you ride it?
This one, basically, I take it out like maybe every, I would say quarterly, like every 3 months or so. Just do a 5 to 10 mile ride locally, and then park it, and basically that's just to kind of just, you know, cycle the battery. But this one actually is semi-retired, really.
Okay. So when you do go out and ride it, what do you use it for?
Good question. So the last 2 legacy rides, I'm glad they're back, by the way. I've actually considered bringing this out on the next legacy ride. That way it'll fulfill its, you know, quarterly, you know, ride. So next legacy ride, I promise I'll bring this one out.
Okay, so you've had this OG since late 2018 or early 2019. After about 3 or 4 years, what do you think of this bike?
This is actually one of my favorite bikes. Like I said, this is the one that I put the most mileage on as far as the OGs goes. The front suspension really helps a great deal. This really has the torque that's really tuned for one of the newer OGs, which obviously has the hub motor in it. But yeah, this is really, seriously, this is one of my favorite OGs to ride. Really, really fun bike to ride, and it has basically, this bike literally is an OG 2018 with the exception of the rear brake that's cut into the frame.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how you can tell.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right, Lauren, so you have the 2018 OG. When did you buy it?
I picked this up in 2021, July 2021.
So what made you buy a 2018 version bike in 2021?
Well, I do have a few different models, but the more I looked at this OG 18, I just fell in love with the design and the color, and was really excited to get one of my own. It had a little over 300 miles, and I currently have 470 miles on it to date.
So how often do you ride it? Within the last year, how often have you ridden it?
You know, the first like 3 or 4 months I had it, I didn't really ride it. I just cleaned it and detailed it and made sure that every single aspect of the bike was in perfect condition. And now I ride it about every 3rd or 4th ride that I go with the group. I'll take this just to keep the juices flowing. Outside of group rides, I use it for a masterpiece. Not much more you can say about this bike than masterpiece.
Yeah. So I noticed that you haven't really customized the OG 2018. Why is that?
Customized? What could you do to this bike to make it look better? I mean, it's just, like I said earlier, it's a piece of work, and in my opinion, it needs not to be touched. It's one of my favorite bikes I have.
Here in SoCal, we still get together on our group rides and exclusively ride our legacy bikes just because it brings back that feeling of nostalgia. So if you're here in SoCal and you own one of the legacy bikes and you want to join us on our next legacy group ride, make sure you're following Super73 Community and electric_Raven on Instagram to stay updated on the next legacy ride. As you can see, a lot of people still love their legacy bikes, and they're still as useful today as they were half a decade ago when they got them. So that does it for this video, everybody. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to us if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next video, and until the next video, have fun out there, ride safe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.